about like my mental health and stuff or life, but this time I just wanted to talk about something that is like largely underappreciated, a disrespected genre of film that is so important to me and which has shaped my cinematic palette. I wanted to talk about this sort of like 90s, early 2000s, like teenage movie genre. I don't know what you'd call, some people call them chick flicks. So like these movies that I'm talking about, they're, to name a few: Clueless, legendary movie for me. You've got She's the Man. What else do you have? 10 Things I Hate About You. I'm searching them right now because there's so many good ones and I don't want to miss them. Let me search Y2K teen movies, because that's what my life is all about. Mean Girls, obviously, how could I not? Princess Diaries, 13 Going on 30, like Freaky Friday. That was really hard for me to say. Those movies, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, for me this is like thanks to Netflix. Netflix is the reason why I know about these films, because I used to go on Netflix and like go on the like romance, you know, category and stuff, and these films would come up and I'd watch all of them. Like I literally would watch them again and again and again. I've watched Mean Girls like a million times. Clueless, I watch it over and over again, and each time with a different understanding of life, a different understanding of myself, and I never stop relating to them. You know, either now it's more of like a hindsight thing of like, oh, you know, like remember the days of old. Like it's not the same thing, but I used to watch them and like learn shit from them, you know. So the way that I see these movies, it's their moment in time, you know? A moment in time in a very like, I'm not talking about like a generation. I'm talking about a moment in time in a certain place in a certain situation, and these are the ramifications of that situation, and these are the, you know, like a very specific moment in time and place, and they give you a very exaggerated, like sometimes satirical, sometimes critical look into the life of a teenager, usually a girl, and how her life is. You learn a little bit about what girls think, or what people think girls think about, in a way that's like obviously is not realistic, but at the same time is a little bit realistic. And that's kind of why I like it, because like, for example, with Clueless, like, no, like I haven't met, I have to like watch out what I'm saying. I haven't really met a lot of girls or women or people. No, I haven't met a lot of people like Cher in real life. And the thing about Cher is that people want to say that she's stupid. If you watch Clueless, you know what I'm talking about. There's that like debate class, and they're talking about whether or not like the US should let in more immigrants, you know? And she's she's for it in this debate. And she's talking about her father's like 40th birthday and how some people didn't RSVP, but they came anyway. And they needed to make place, so they got some more chairs. And she's talking about like how if the country rearranged their resources, what I took from that was that like if you rearrange your resources to accommodate these new people, maybe we can find some more seats. And like, that's not a crazy thing to say. It's not very practical, but like, it's just about, what she's saying is basically, if the government like prioritized this, or took it into consideration that they would have to set aside money or resources for immigrants, that we could make it work. Like, this is not a crazy thing for anyone to say, or for anyone to, like, if you're arguing for, this is not stupid at all. This is a normal, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to make her sound like she's so fucking stupid, and she's, like, not that stupid. Like, Cher is pretty clever, and we all know that. She reads a lot of books. But the way that she says it is not, obviously, it's like supposed to make her sound stupid. Like, that's part of her character, is like that she's this, like, rich girl who has lots of money, and she's, like, negotiating her grades. And, like, okay, but, like, at the same time, like, she gets a shitty grade and has a really positive outlook on that situation. And it's like, it's just a starting off point for negotiations. And I love when she says that, because it's like, you should always be thinking about life in that way. It's like, okay, I have this shitty situation, doesn't mean I cannot change it. Girl, like, stages a whole last, like, plan, and, like, becomes a matchmaker for her teachers, and, like, makes them happy, and gets what she wants. And if you've ever worked in any place, you know that your smarts aren't gonna get you there. It's your street smarts also, and, like, how you relate to other people. And in a way, she's got some real, like, she knows how to manipulate people, which is really, as long as she's only using it for good, I guess I don't really care if she's, like, a manipulator. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just a little side note, as a European watching these, like, American movies, I always, like, wondered how much of it is, like, realistic, and how much of it isn't, because I feel like, obviously, not all of it is real, but, like, these things can't, like, they're not coming from nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have to be coming from somewhere. So yeah, just a little side note. I don't know. I mean, there are stereotypes. Like, we have the jocks, and we have the nerds, and we have the lesbians, and we have the weed people, and you know what I'm saying? Like, but if you have ever been to high school, or any kind of school in that, like, age range, you'll know that this is not completely wrong. Like, of course, at least in Europe, I don't think people are clicked in like that. I don't think it really matters that much. But, like, in my school, and I went to Danish school, like, I was in the music class, so, like, I hung out with a lot of people that played music, and, like, you wouldn't catch me with the people that study, like, gymnastics or, like, sports. Like, I wasn't interested in that. Like, I don't care about biology, like, therefore it is kind of true. And I had a teacher tell me many years ago, like, you are where you come from. And I think that's really true, because I still see myself as that, like, music student even now when I like, I'm going into workplaces, and, like, dealing with people, and, like when you're in a workplace, people don't, categorize you like that necessarily, because they're not really interested in your hobbies and your interests. You are replaceable. You're just filling a role. But if you're there for, like, an extended amount of time, you get to know people, and you realize, even in your workplace, that you get along with the same kinds of people that you would get along with in, like, school. Usually. I mean, this is not the same for everyone, but for me anyway, I still gravitate towards people that are artistic, or appreciate arts, or like music, or like movies. Like, you still won't catch me with the people that, like, go to the gym every day, although I have made friends who do that, and, like, that's great for them. They do give a, like, sort of a authentic insight into what it's like to be a teenager. Yeah, and the music, and, like, I just find teenagers to be really interesting, because when I was a teenager, I thought I knew everything, and I thought I wasn't at all, and now I'm, like, just a few years older than being a teenager, and I still don't know shit. So it's just really interesting to me to see how things change, and like how these films like are still relatable to me, but in a different way. Like, for example, these realizations I had about Cher, that she's like not stupid, she's like actually kind of smart, but she just doesn't know how to express herself yet. It's like so interesting. And like with Mean Girls, like you see this like naive girl who doesn't understand the social, like, the social hierarchy and how people relate to each other in this school, and like they're very bitchy girls, and like they're not that nice, but she's like has this, like, I'm talking about Mean Girls now, of course, that she has this very kind of neutral approach to these people, and that she knows that they're apparently not nice, but she doesn't immediately hate them for that, which is something that I would do if I heard about someone like, if people were saying, oh my god, this person is not nice, you should not, like, they're awful, I would probably hate them just based on that. But like in this movie, we have the chance to like take a neutral approach to people that we aren't really supposed to like, and I have personally experienced this too, where it's like I would meet a person and think we probably won't vibe very well, like we probably can't get along, but then I kind of talk to them and I figure out that, like, hey, like, they're actually not that bad, like they're actually really nice. Or if they're really popular, you talk to them and you figure out that, like, all the popularity, it's not real, it's an illusion. It's like they don't even like people. They are usually really introverted people, actually, but they just, for one reason or another, have been forced into that, into being extroverts. And like, I know that people don't like Harry Potter anymore. I love Harry Potter. You cannot change my mind. I don't care if there are plot holes. I don't love it because it's an amazing, like, I do not love it because it's like some kind of masterpiece. Like, I do think that it's a masterpiece, but that's not really why I love it. Like, the reason why I love Harry Potter is because it's like, it's nostalgic to me, and like, even if the stories has plot holes and there are things that don't make sense, like, like you have to sometimes just accept things for what they are, I guess. Like, I just love Harry Potter. I think it's great. It's a great world to be in, fun world. Like, just let things be, and let things exist, and appreciate things for what they are. They don't need to be perfect. I think sometimes perfection, or the idea that, like, because I find oftentimes when people want to critique things, they're always like, this is such an obvious thing, why didn't they do that? And it's like, okay, well then you write then you sit down in front of your computer and write like 7 books that are like without plot holes, without like skipping any sort of like problem to like move on to the next one. Like you make a perfect series, and then you can start to like talk about why it's so horrible that other people made mistakes. Moral of the story: these films are great. I'm gonna go watch them again and not worry about if I'm watching good movies or bad movies. Like, just watch a movie that you love, or hate watch one. Just watch movies, actually. Like, but I don't like the snobbiness of it. That's one thing about film school that was a real like struggle for me to like get around, is that, like, I understand that you love Wes Anderson. I respect that you love Wes Anderson. I respect that you only watch Tarantino movies. Like, I understand all of this. I respect it. I even appreciate your loyalty. But I'm not like that. I love a Tarantino. I love a Wes Anderson. Like, give me a Taika Waititi. Like, I'm not Yates, like Priscilla, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind. Give me a Nolan. Oh my god, give me an M. Night Shyamalan. Like, girl, you can always learn something, but at the same time, I understand and I respect. But I just think that stories are stories, and we don't need to. I don't need to be overly like snobby about it. Like, I love these movies. Why do I need to like feel bad about it? They are my childhood. They are my teenage years. I will forever appreciate and love them, even if they're not that good. Like technically or whatever. I still love them, and I still adore them, and I still aspire to create something like that one day. I want to create movies that are visually stunning, aesthetically pleasing, but that also, you know, have a beating heart, have something to say. I don't ever want to create something that doesn't have substance. And if the aesthetics don't match up with the story, that's fine. But like, I will still strive for something that looks good, that's pleasing to me, and for me, fashion and aesthetics and these kinds of things matter. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to say what I would or wouldn't do because I'm still very new to this, but I just know that that is something that I think about a lot. Aesthetics of things. Like, I would love to one day even do like an actual like fashion like film or something like this. I would love that. That's something I aspire to do, because even though I don't, like, for example, with myself, I don't have that much money to like buy actual like expensive clothes and stuff, but that doesn't mean I don't have it in my mind, you know.